Well, welcome everybody to a special edition of Pioneers and Builders in Jacksonville, or as we affectionately call it, PB and Jacks. We are on site at the brand new Pour Taproom downtown, and I'm here with the owner, good friend of mine, Tony Draper. Tony, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It's hard not to walk around here and just be in awe of even the little details that you guys put into this as an homage to the city of Jacksonville. Why was that important?
Yeah, I appreciate you noticing and for the question. So when I started this journey, everyone kind of assumed that I'm a massive beer enthusiast, which is true to some level. I do enjoy beer. I don't brew beer. I don't know how to brew beer. I've just now, as we're a self-pour establishment, learned how to pour a correct beer. But I love kind of what the pint and the table represent from a community standpoint. And so what really drove me in this journey was building community. And so I knew early on that wherever we landed, in Jacksonville, wherever we landed in Jacksonville, I wanted it to be a love letter and represent the community that we were going to, stake our claim in. And so, it was always going to be about Jax. It was always going to be about Duval. And then when we ended up in downtown Jacksonville, which is such a gift and such a blessing and such an honor, we kind of turned up the heat on Duval. We wanted to represent it all throughout every square inch of this building. And so when you walk in, you're going to see nods to Jacksonville and downtown Jacksonville. And it's just, super important that we got that right. You
got it right.
Thanks, man.
You did. Some people are going to have to come to the bar to see all the things you did. Obviously, we have the River City plant wall behind us. We have the Duval over there, which is great. But on the wall, we have the Jacksonville Red Caps with Hank Aaron on the wall. I saw that we had a map of downtown with the coordinates to the bar. So we've always talked about how Jacksonville was this city of potential. And I've been coining saying we're sliding into a city of opportunity. And we just needed places like this where people, when they got off work, they could go somewhere or watch a game. And so I just want to start off by commending you on not only bringing this here, but how you put it together. I think this place is exceptional.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, let's talk about the journey of it.
Okay.
You specifically, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is your first establishment.
This is it. Yeah. I don't have a background in restaurants and hospitality. I was a waiter one time in college for about a year. Was not very good at it. So yeah, this is a new venture for me. And I kind of got to the point in my career trajectory where I was I worked for a great company, several great companies here in Jacksonville, just in the corporate world, and just eventually. It took me a while, just figured out being in an office and staring at a computer all day, and traveling. It's just, I wasn't cut out for that life.
Yeah. And
it really started to wear on me. I think a lot of people have no one's really passionate about going into an office, but a lot of people compartmentalize okay, from 9 to 5, I'm going to do this thing and it's going to be my work, and then I'm going to leave it and it's going to be a means to an end to where I can enjoy my life or have it, subsidize what I really want to do in life. I have a really, really hard time doing that. Whatever I do for a career or a living, I can't leave it. And so I've got to be passionate about what I do or I'll reach a level of burnout. And quite frankly, depression. You can call it a midlife crisis. I kind of joke that, when people walk in, it's you're in my midlife crisis right now. That's really what it is. It's also a crisis of just fulfillment in what I was doing. And, my wife could see it, and I would walk into the house. I've got 4 kids. They could see it. And, I started to just kind of put it out there. what if I just walked away from it all and opened up a beer bar or a craft, Taproom. And to her credit, my wife, I said it enough, and she knew where my heart was, that eventually she was like, you know what, like, why don't you?
Yeah.
Like, she called me out on the table. She's like, I'm sick of hearing about it. Like, clearly you're not happy. Clearly it's something you want to do. Like, what are you waiting on? And she had every right to not say that, because it impacts her as well. But she loves me, and once I knew she had my back and was all in, I was like, all right, this is what I'm doing. And so that kind of started the wheels in motion probably 6 or 7 years ago. And it's been a long journey, a hard journey, but
here we are.
Yeah.
I was going to ask how long it's been. So you said 6 or 7 years since you had the conversation. Walk me through the process of when you decided to actually start making phone calls or outreach to consider doing this, and what the process looked like to meet with somebody who could help you build it. Because you were working in a cubicle.
Yeah.
You were like, I want to start a bar, but you don't have a background in this. So you probably had to have many conversations with people that could help you get to this point.
A ton. Absolutely.
Walk through the process of like, okay, it's an idea.
Yep.
But now we are going to push it forward inch by inch.
Yeah.
Like, talk about the beginning stages.
So, ideas are useless unless they're set into motion.
Yep.
Right? So it requires any sort of passion or dream or idea is only existent in the clouds or in your mind, and it will live there rent-free until it goes away, or until you do, or you make a choice or you don't make a choice, right? And so I decided, without having really a plan or even like what I was going to do, I'm like, the first thing I need to do to really do this is to leave my job. And so I left my job without a business plan and without how it was going to happen, because I knew that was the first step. If I stayed where I was, I really felt like I would never make it happen.
Yeah.
So movement, and then you make mistakes, and then you fail, and then you learn from those, and then you adjust, right? So it was all about, because what I dreamed up in my head looks nothing like this. I had no idea that this would happen.
Yeah.
Right. You make a move, and then you run into a wall, and you learn. You have a conversation. You learn where your shortcomings are, and then you just kind of adjust. So it was a series of like running into walls and figuring out how to navigate around them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
But I learned very quickly that like I need help, I need support, and so I started, thinking about the franchise opportunity. Poor Taproom is an already established brand, and it was just kind of serendipitous that I got connected with them, and then once I linked up with them a few years ago, it was kind of off to the races, because they've been a tremendous support system for me, and it really opened up a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, that's wonderful. When Poor decided to get into the fray, and they knew that they wanted to do something in Jacksonville, was it always going to be downtown? Was that the plan?
It was not the plan, and it was kind of it's another just serendipitous thing where we ended up. But if you think about it from an investment opportunity, or like even a corporate group that doesn't know Jacksonville, but they know Jacksonville's growing, we kind of come in and we're like, okay, where do we want to be? Location is everything. Yeah. Like, if you can make a lot of mistakes in this business, if you get location wrong, you're kind of dead in the water from the jump.
Yep.
And so, all the key indicators are, you want to be where the people are, you want to be where the density is, you want to be where the action is. And so then you start looking at the San Marcos, the Riversides, the beaches, the Avondales, and going through all of those exercises of visiting locations and meeting with, potential landlords. And so really downtown Jax wasn't high on our list when you kind of use that formula.
Yeah.
Admittedly so. And I think everyone would agree to that. I mean, in 3 to 5 years, will it be that? Absolutely. 100%. So, a space like this, it takes, effort from not just private groups, but also public entities, and even, Vistar, who owns this building. It was really kind of a meeting of the minds to once we saw the space and once we met Vistar, who owns this property, and they kind of pitched us the vision and we kind of pitched them our concept. They really made it something we couldn't turn down.
Yeah.
And then the wheels in my mind started, setting in motion. Wow, if we can make this work, and they're working so hard to accommodate us because they want it so bad too, and the city wants it so bad too. Why not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so super blessed that all came together, and we're on the front end of what I think is obviously a tremendous renaissance.
Yeah.
That's happening right now.
Yeah.
And
it's a rejuvenation.
It's such a blessing. Literally, if you take a map of all of Duval, Jacksonville, and you literally just took your finger and just did your best to just what would be the center of this entire region, and you just put your finger down, you would land on top of our building every single time.
Yeah.
Right? So how cool is it, that we want to be a community building epicenter, and then God ends up putting us right in the heartbeat of the city, which is tremendous.
It is. Yeah. When did the conversations first start with Vistar? I'm trying to figure out the timeline here.
Yeah, I want to say it was late 2022 or early 2023. We were booking meetings and locations and trying to get some appointments set, and my Poor Taproom ownership group were down visiting, and we had to drive them back to the airport, and our broker said, hey, there's this other property I think you guys should check out. And we're like, where is it? And they said, oh, it's in downtown Jacksonville. I'm like, well, okay, we'll take the meeting. It's kind of like a last kind of meeting on the way to the airport. And once we met with the Vistar team, which was just a pile of dirt with a storefront, but we saw the potential of the space. And then when we met with them, and then several meetings afterwards, it just really became obvious that this is where we want to be and where we need to be.
If it wasn't going to be here, what was the leader in the clubhouse?
Gosh, that's a good question. I live in the Miramar, San Marco neighborhood, yeah. So before I even knew I wanted to do a Poor Taproom, when I quit my job, I was like, I want to open something up there in my community,
Yeah.
So that was certainly a target. We were looking at, the beaches. We were looking all the hot pockets that anyone would look at if they're looking to open up a place like this,
yeah.
Right, in Jacksonville.
So in late 2022, early 2023 is when you took the meeting with Vistar and you saw the potential.
Yeah.
I understand that semi-recently, but I also feel that the renaissance, if you will, is really starting to unpack in the last 18 months or so. The stadium deal got signed, Deca Live got put in, they're rejuvenating a lot of these older buildings that have been vacant. Mm-hmm. So whenever you decided to do this, I think it was probably right before some projects got greenlit. So when you signed here to do the build here, was that a concern at all? Did you think that you were going to be basically the catalyst to some of the fun that was about to take place? No.
Once we knew this is the place we wanted, we never got concerned. We even 2022, 2023, we knew there was enough momentum behind downtown Jax. They had just announced and broken ground probably on the Emerald Trail. And other stuff they were announcing, we could tell it was moving in the right direction. I think so we knew But I think the last 12 to 18 months has really kind of like hit the afterburner with the Gateway Jacks stuff, which we're super excited about. Obviously, the new stadium. And we know eventually right across the street, the Laura Street Trio, someone will save the day on that.
Yeah, they just approved the land swap for the UF
Right.
grad school too. So
That's right.
now that when these grad school kids, because they're going to be over 21, once they finish classes and they're stressed and they're like, I could really use a really good beer.
That's right.
They know where to come.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. It's been very clear that there's like so much buzz. Like I can't even open Instagram without every 904 page under the sun being like, come check this out, come look at the pictures. You've done some dry runs. Could you have imagined that it would be this wild this early? Like
No. I mean, I think in any venture like this, and I'm a optimist by nature, so I tend to get really, really excited, and I'm a dreamer, obviously, because here we are. So I'm a dreamer and I'm an optimist. So I'm always like, thinking of the best possible case. And so, my poor Taproom, my partners Ray and John were like, listen, like they were very good about like setting, expectations early on. We know the nature of where we are. We really designed the processes and the business to like eventually be able to scale, right? And so I did not expect the turnout and the excitement and the buzz that we have gotten. I knew once people saw the space, it would kind of speak for itself. But no, I'm overwhelmed. Like I was telling people last night when they were asking me, it's really overwhelming because we've been pretty much packed from 11 a.m. to I think last night 12 a.m. There's been nonstop people in here, and everything, unless they're just overly trying to be nice because they know I'm the owner, everything has been like, thank you so much. This space is amazing. We will come back. We had a wonderful time. And so it has been pretty overwhelming. Obviously, we're the shiny new thing as well. So you don't want to think, oh, this is how it's going to be for the next 10 or 15 years. I hope it is.
Yeah.
But certainly we want to rein down our excitement a little bit. But I'm a firm believer in that if you make it a fun place, if you build community, if you activate live music, trivia, TVs, DJs, events, corporate, if you continue to just activate on all those fronts, like you're going to have bodies in the room that are going to have a good time. And so I firmly believe that.
Yeah. Well, I'm not just saying it to say it, man. You did amazing.
Thank you.
I think the team, when they were setting up the lights and everything today too, their jaws were on the floor also. I mean, just like the touches, the fact like all the homage to the city, and then the fact that anybody can come in and get a beer, and there's all these TVs, you can watch all kinds of stuff, man. It's what downtown sorely needed, in my opinion. And I also love that it's, like I said, you guys got in here first, and there's the Bay Street rejuvenation. We've got apartment complexes going in like crazy. All the return to office orders, so people, like when they get off work, they have a place they can come hang out and enjoy themselves. I think the location's right, but I think what you did on the inside was perfect.
Awesome, man.
Yeah. Let's talk about Tony the guy.
Okay.
Who are you? I mean, I know you said you were working in a cubicle, you quit your job, you opened this bar, you're a dreamer, you're an optimist, but you're a father of four, you're a baseball enthusiast, you're apparently a beer enthusiast. But tell everybody, like whenever they come in here and they bring their business to you, who are they bringing it to?
Yeah, that's I appreciate the question. I have trouble answering it because I don't really know who I am. I can tell you that I love hosting. I love hosting. I love community. I'm a big time extrovert. I get energized by meeting new people, which served me well in the corporate world when I was in sales. But I love to have a conversation, and I'm the kind of guy that when you get in an elevator and I've just met you, I could share my life story.
Yep.
It just comes easy to me, and so I think that serves me well in a place like this. But father of 4. Been married to my wife Ashley, who I'm just madly in love with since 2008. I'm trying to do the math. I think that's 16 years.
17.
17.
Yeah.
You edit that out. And so faith and family first and foremost drive me, or at least try to drive me, and will always drive me. And I try to my North Star, just as a person, is my faith and my family, and then from there it's just really living life. I love to love life, and I make decisions based on what's going to make me happy or what I'm going to be passionate about doing.
Yeah.
At least I try to do that, and I try to model that for my kids. That it's not all about the paycheck. It's not all about being a slave to something that you hate. There's opportunity if you make it to do anything you want, especially in America, if you work hard enough and you're not afraid to fail. So that's the best way I could summarize it.
Yeah, I think the best. I was talking to somebody about this the other day, but the best example that you could set for your kids is to, like, you personally, to follow your dreams. It's one thing to tell your children that they can follow their dreams, and then you try to help them do so. Mm-hmm. But setting the example of hey, listen, Dad's gonna go quit his job and take a risk, and hopefully it's all gonna pay off. And now they get to see over the few years that you put this together that it came to fruition. Yeah. So I think that's the best thing you could have done, man. Congratulations on that too.
Thanks.
Clearly you one thing I want to talk about is Jacksonville, the city. Clearly you love it. You've been here 18 years, I believe.
Yes. No, 25 years.
You've been here 25 years.
25 years.
My goodness.
Yeah.
I was way off. So you've been here 25 years. You knew you wanted to put an establishment in the city. There's no way you would stay in a place for 25 years if you didn't love it. I know that we're going through a lot of change as a city, but why do you love Jacksonville so much? Why have you stuck it out while we were going through this wave of potential, and now we're coming into this wave of opportunity?
Yeah. So I moved around a lot as a kid. Yeah. I don't think that I stayed in the same house for more than 3 years. And so I always kind of wanted to lay down roots. When I was out on my own, when I moved out at 18, I was looking for community. I was looking to lay down roots. I didn't know that it would be Jacksonville, but it ended up being Jacksonville, and I got immediately connected. Into just I keep saying community. It's gonna be a buzzword of this entire interview, but yeah. I got connected into community, and for the first time in my life, I was able to lay down roots and decide, okay, I'm not going to move in another 3 years. This is going to end up being home. And so just fell in love immediely with the area. And then I love that because I've lived in not South Florida, but Central Florida. I've been to South Florida. But I'm also from Georgia, so I'm a southeastern boy. I'm a southern boy. But the further south you get in the state of Florida, the more northern everything gets.
Yep.
Right? I love that Jacksonville is a southern town. We're southern people. We've got the coast, the intercoastal. We've got the river. We're kind of country, but we've got an amazing beach, and now we're at this bustling metropolis. But I think it's got all the great characteristics that you would want to have in a community if you're looking to move somewhere, because cost of living, everything that you can do here just from being outdoors and enjoying the scenery and the water. We've got an NFL team.
Yep.
I mean, what is not to love about Duval? It's whenever I talk to people who are not from here, I'm like, you don't understand, right?
Yeah. If you want it's the nightlife isn't really here unless you go to the beach, but I remember when Cat Williams did his special here, he was talking about how much water Jacksonville has, and he said he said you could overdose on water in Jacksonville. That's how much we have with the river, the intercoastal, the
Yeah.
ocean, all the different ponds. I love it too. I've been here 18 and a half years, and I wouldn't have stayed if I didn't love it as well. And now that we're starting to put in establishments like this one, where people can have a reason to go downtown and actually celebrate the core of the city, very bullish on what's to come.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we got a new stadium coming in, which is going to come with a whole new complex. There's going to be a Four Seasons. There's going to be restaurants and bars over by the stadium now, which is going to be great. They did all the renovations to what's now the ViStar Park. ViStar's got their name on everything, man.
Yes,
it's crazy. And then we got all the different Deca Live and everything that's going on Bay Street. And then you come over on this side, man, and you were talking about population density. Everybody that's coming to work here, I can't overstate. Like, they now have a place to go, whether that's for lunch or after work, or they had a stressful day. So many law offices here, if they dealt with a bunch of stressful clients, they can come over here and get an IPA and exhale.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is the when you have the vision, now that we're open, outside of the corporate settings and the trivia nights and stuff like that, like what would you consider best case scenario here? Like, when you think about the future of this place, like, and we get 10 years down the line and you get an opportunity to reflect, what would you be like, man, we nailed that?
That people had fun.
Yeah.
Like, you can kind of get lost in your mission statement or your vision and what you want to accomplish. And every time I think about it and try to come up with something like super like corporate-y and creative, and again, it's hard for me to like separate my corporate life from this life, right? Because I want to do all the buzzwords. And really what it comes down to is, did you have fun? Did you have a good time when you walked into this place? And did we make a good impression, and do you want to come back? And really, like, if I could look back in 10 years and know that like people just had a great time here, that's really what I want. That's what I want for Jacksonville, because I think that's where magic, like, the real magic happens.
Is it possible that a second bar franchise or anything, doesn't have to be poor, but is there some kind of expansion in your portfolio in the future?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, not in the immediate future. Nothing that's in motion right now. We really want to get this right first, like before we even think about expanding or going somewhere else. We want to make sure that this is on solid footing, and we've got our processes in place and know how Jacksonville's going to respond. And if it makes sense, like, absolutely, we'll look to do another one. I mean, Duval is big enough.
Yeah, it is.
Where there's room for more of these.
Yeah.
So,
did ViStar talk about any plans with this area? Like, whenever you guys settled in on this, did they say like, hey, we're going to do something like, we got cranes in the air over here, we're going to build other things, we're expecting more people? Was there any conversation around
certainly,
like density?
Yeah, there was. They obviously. So I want to say, while you bring up ViStar, it's been such a joy to work with them, and they have supported us so much. And it is like obvious from the CEO down, like, they passionately care about downtown Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And it is not just lip service.
Yeah.
They love downtown Jacks, and it's blatantly obvious. And so when, they wanted to build this, shell into an amenity, not only for their employees but for downtown Jacksonville. And so they're aware of what's going on and what's happening. Obviously, early on, like, a lot of stuff that was in motion has not ended up playing out like we thought it would. There's been some stalls and some stops, but with everything that kind of stalls out or stops, there's a new thing that like leapfrogs it.
Yep.
Right? Like the Gateway development and the whole Pearl Street thing like came out of nowhere, and they've already broken ground.
They have, yeah.
Right? And we didn't even know about it when we did this. That was like, I just looked on the news one day, like we're like in our build out. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're literally transforming like out of 20 blocks
Yes.
of the city.
With living arrangements. And,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a done deal, and they're like breaking ground. They just broke ground on another expansion of it. But to answer your question, yeah, ViStar, obviously they're in tune with all of that, and they knew, they knew. So
Was the plan that this was going to be? To me, this feels like a marquee. Like this feels like the place.
Yeah.
And then everything gets built around it. Was that the original plan or goal, or did they think like, hey, we have other things that are going in motion, and we're going to put this here as a supplement to all the things that we're building? Was that conversation even had?
Yes and no. They definitely wanted this to be a marquee because we're on the corner, right, of Laura and Forsyth. Very heavy traffic.
Oh, yeah.
Corner of downtown Jacksonville. They just turned Forsyth into a two-way street, which is huge for us.
I don't even think I knew that.
Yeah, right there. That's why all the cones are outside. It was one way, and they're about to open it for two-way, which is tremendous. So they wanted it to be a marquee on this corner. As far as like up and down Laura Street, I think they know that eventually this whole like street will be popping.
Yeah.
But there wasn't anything in motion from that standpoint yet.
Yeah. I have a question that has nothing to do with poor Taproom or Jacksonville. How do we fix our Atlanta Braves? How do we fix them, man? They're killing us.
I think we need a new owner. I think our ownership group, it's a corporation, it's a publicly traded company, it's a media conglomerate, and they have shareholders that they care about, and they don't have fans that they care about. And so I think that as long as all their real estate holdings in the Battery area, as long as that's a cash cow for them, and as long as people keep buying tickets to Braves games, which they will, like win or lose, I'm pretty confident about.
Yeah.
I really don't think the product that they put on the field is a priority right now, and we're letting free agents walk, and we're not making deals to bring new folks in at the rate we need to be competitive. And it's super frustrating. I think we need new ownership, and until we get new ownership that wants to spend money and really care about the product on the field, I have a feeling we're going to be a watered down version of the Atlanta Braves that you're seeing right now. And I think that 2021 was kind of just like a lightning in the bottle type of moment.
It really was like the '69 Mets, man. Like everything had to kind of go their way in a very particular fashion, and it was. Hey, I'll always have 2021. It was great. All right, how do we fix the Jags?
I think we are fixing the Jags.
Okay.
I know that we say that every year, but I think we are fixing the Jags. The new GM, the new owner. I'm not a new owner. The new coach and the new GM know the game, know today's game. They're not old heads in football. I think they know what it takes now to win in the NFL, in the new age game that it's become.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to build the team around that and not hold on to old school football that really doesn't work anymore. And then Shad Khan gets a lot of heat as an owner. I still have belief and faith in him that he really, really wants them to win, and I think he's putting the wheels in motion not only to make sure that we're competitive, but also that we have the new stadium, the new facilities, that we care about the players, and he obviously is deeply invested in Jacksonville and in the community, and it's I don't know how long it'll take, but I think we're going to have winning football here, pretty soon.
That's good. I was actually really concerned with Shad Khan whenever he was going to keep Trent Baalke.
Yeah.
I was like, yo.
Yeah.
That was brutal, but I'm glad that they made the change, and yes, they have an up-and-coming GM.
I felt like he read the room.
Yeah.
It took him a while to read the room, but he read the room and swallowed his pride a little bit.
Yeah.
and made the correction he needed to make, which like give credit, to the owner for
Yeah,
that. So.
yeah, absolutely. He swallowed his pride. I appreciate that.
For sure. And we, with our proximity to the stadium, I got to put this plug in. We want to be game day central, not only for home games, but away games. And, the Jags are out of town, still come downtown. We are attached to a parking deck, and we validate parking for our customers. So there's plenty of parking. It's, free on weekends to park in downtown Jacksonville on the street. If you want to park in our garage, you can, and we'll validate you for 2 hours. We've got a massive projector. We've got 17 TVs in here. We are going to have the Jags on, and I think this place is going to be popping.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Couple more questions for you,
Okay.
and we'll turn you loose. I ask everybody when they get on the show, because ultimately what we're trying to do is make Jacksonville a better place.
Yeah.
I know that we're trending that way, but I'll start with this. What is Jacksonville doing well?
I think they're accommodating the growth. I think they're doing all the things right because we see the numbers. There's massive influx of people who are moving here and laying down roots. And so I think they're doing really good about courting businesses to relocate here and have their headquarters here. And so they're doing really well with that. I think the current mayor is doing a great job with downtown Jacksonville specifically. So I think they're doing all the right things to make it easy for development to happen. I know there's a history or maybe a stigma of Jacksonville, especially downtown Jacksonville, making it hard and not making it retail friendly and residential friendly. And it takes a long time when you go through decades of that kind of old head mentality to turn that around, right? And you're gonna make mistakes. But the DIA, Lori Boyer, City Council, we had them all in here on last Tuesday night for a downtown appreciation event, and they love the city. They love Jacksonville. They love downtown. They've been so accommodating, and with a revitalization effort like this, it takes public and private partnership to make it happen, right? And it takes 3-4 groups to come in as a team. Like, how can we lay the groundwork so that we can get businesses in here, we can get retail in here, and they're doing that. So
the other side of this coin is, what can Jacksonville do better?
Yeah, that's good. I don't think I'm equipped to answer that from a city governance standpoint, because I'm just a beer bar owner. But, I think they currently need to do whatever it takes to make this Laura Street trio a reality.
Yeah.
Right?
I think they will.
It's been a fight for decades. In the last 10 years, it's been a fight, and you get to the finish line. And I'm not pointing any fingers at all, but I think they need to figure out one of the. I think Lori Boyer made a comment. I read it the other day, but you kind of get into these negotiations with these developers, and you talk about numbers. Before anything's ever broken ground, you talk about numbers, right? And then the process takes so long from the numbers conversation and the negotiations to when you actually get to break ground. I mean, we're talking years, right?
Yeah.
With all the red tape and all the things you got to go through. And then as a developer, you're looking at, well, these numbers we talked about 3 years ago are no longer the numbers. Things have changed in the market, labor has changed. Construction materials have all inflated, right? And so then a renegotiation process has to happen, right? And then there's this infighting that happens. Well, it's like what you agreed upon 3 years ago, and then the developer is like, listen, we're not going to make any money because we're, upside down now because the climate's changed. And so there needs to be a way to do it faster and make it easier. And I know they know that, and I know they're working on it. I have no idea what the solution is, but I think she's got a valid point.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Last question.
Yeah.
Look in the camera.
Yes.
And anybody who's thinking about taking a big leap in life, they have a big goal or a big dream, but they're kind of held down by the fact that they have to hold their job, provide, and everything else. Give them some advice on why it's important to take the leap and, how it's been for you ever since you decided to do that.
Yeah, man, I love that you asked me that question. So there's, as far as the mechanics of when to quit your job, obviously, especially if you've got a lot at stake like I do with 4 kids, you've got to be in a good place to weather a storm for a season, right? So like I had a little bit of savings built up, not a lot. And then COVID happened. So this was 6 years ago, and I immediately had to re-enter the workforce. So I have not been unemployed for 6 years. I've had to go back to work, and so that would be the first thing. Whether you're thinking about quitting your job now or in the future, like make sure that you have the means to, get back into employment if you need it, or have some savings to help sustain you while you figure this thing out. And then the other thing is just, like I hit on this earlier, just move. Like it's, if you're paralyzed by fear, you got to take the leap, or it'll just always live rent free in your head, and it'll always be there until you actually move. And you got to remove that fear of failure. To me, the calculation became what is risk to me, right? Is risk that I fall on my face financially, or is risk that I get to the end of my professional career at 60 or 65, and maybe I'm sitting on a pile of cash because I had this amazing corporate career, but I absolutely hate the person that I am, or I hated that I kind of just threw away the last 20 years of my life with that regret of like, I never did that thing that I wanted to do. To me, that was a greater risk. Like I could not live with myself if that's who I was at 60 or 65 years old. I would much rather make the move, fail, lose a ton of money, put everything up on the line. I felt confident in myself that I'm employable. And that my wife loves me and she's not going to leave me if I squander away our retirement. And I can remember having a decision or a conversation with her early on where I told her when I was thinking about doing this, and she's given me her blessing, I told her, I need to be okay that, if I fail, you're still okay. Like, you're still on board. Like, if I fail, I need to know that that's okay with you. And she looked at me without skipping a beat and said, I don't believe you will fail. And obviously I knew that I could, I had her permission to fail. And so if you're married, obviously your spouse has to be on board as well. And so the other piece of advice I would give is, no matter the cost, support your spouse's dreams. And you've got to give them freedom and rope to go for it if you truly love them, even if that comes at a great cost.
Yeah, it's a wonderful answer, man.
Thank you.
I want to speak on behalf of Shane and Shedrick behind the camera, and Trevor behind the light, myself. We will be watching football here.
Awesome.
We will be attending here. And I want to say on behalf of the city of Jacksonville and the fact that we even started this podcast, which was to make Jacksonville a better place, you have in fact made Jacksonville a better place by opening this. I want to congratulate you, and I want to thank you very much for what you're doing.
Awesome, man. Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers, brother.
Appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Tony.
Yeah, man. That was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anytime.